Hello guys and gals, Buffalo here. Having a little timing issue with one of my Smith Wesson Performance Center revolvers. And before I get that fixed, I'd like to show you guys what it's doing, so you'll know what that is. So we'll start out with this one. Now this one I'm not having a problem with. It's in perfect time. But I want to show a few parts here that I'll be talking about before I show you how to check and what you're checking for. This is your cylinder stop. Comes up out of the floor of the revolver frame there and engages these notches on the cylinder itself. That's what locks it up. So when you lock a revolver up, that notch is engaged in that groove. And you certainly want it locked before you fire it, and that's what a timing issue is. It's not locked before it's ready to fire. This on your ejector here is a little gear, and that gets engaged by a hand that comes out of the revolver frame right in that little slot right there. I'll press this middle button and that'll trick the revolver. If you can trick a mechanical object, it'll trick it into thinking the cylinder is closed so that I can cock the hammer. You'll see, or hopefully you'll see, that little hand come up out of there. So the little hand came up right here and moved up. That's what engages this gear. That hand comes out, and when it moves up, it rotates your cylinder. So that's how that works. Now in a healthy Smith & Wesson revolver, and most other revolvers, there are some that are different, but in most revolvers you'll hear 3 distinct clicks, and I've got a little microphone laying here on my table, hopefully to pick that up. If you're in a quiet room, you'll hear 3 distinct clicks. The first one will be, you'll start to cock the hammer, your cylinder lock right here will drop. Alright, so it's dropped out of the way. So the first click you'll hear is that once the cylinder rotates past the notch that the lock was in, that lock will pop back up. That'll be the first click you hear. It's back up now. And that it'll drag along the cylinder until it gets to the next notch. That's what leaves those little rings on the cylinder, if you didn't know that. But when it gets to that next notch, that'll be your second click. So let's listen here. I'll get this microphone over. Let's listen. 1, 2, that means the cylinder's locked. 3 is the hammer cocking. Let's do that again. 1, cylinder rotates, locked, and the hammer cocked. That'll be your 3 sounds you're listening for. And that's what it should sound like. Now this one, my 44 Magnum, it's on the same frame as this 357, by the way. This one's having some issues. It's not on every cylinder, and it's very slight. It's just slightly out of time. Let's see if we can get it to do it here. If I slowly cock the hammer, you'll hear 1. And there, my hammer cocked, and then I heard the revolver lock. It should have been the other way around. The cylinder should have locked before the hammer cocked. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3. That's the way it's supposed to go. 1. And they cock simultaneously, or lock simultaneously, the hammer and the cylinder. So I think this next one is one of them that's out of time. 1. My hammer is locked, but my cylinder is not. Now when I turn my cylinder just a touch, you'll hear it lock. Now it's locked. Do that again. 1. I heard it lock afterward. So it's not out much. 1. And my hammer is locked, but my cylinder is not. Listen to it lock. It locked. So it's not out of time much, just very slightly. But I wanted to show you guys before I fixed it that's how you check it for timing. That cylinder should lock before the hammer locks. Now on an older Colt revolver, okay, my hammer's locked, but my cylinder is not. On an older Colt revolver, this might be acceptable because the cylinder still rotates a little bit when the trigger is pulled. It does not on these Smith & Wessons. Listen to it lock. It's only a hair, but it is out of time. I filled the cylinder full of snap caps to test the double action. And it does seem to lock the cylinder before the hammer falls in double action. You guys probably can't see it, but I'm watching the cylinder lock here. It engages the notch before the hammer falls. So this timing problem is just very slight, but these things won't cure themselves. It'll only get worse with time. Any revolver, if shot enough, will wear. The hand will wear. The ejector gear here will wear. And when that stuff wears, it can come out of time. And most competent gunsmiths can fix that for you. And if you're handy with that sort of thing, you can fix it yourself at home. You can buy an oversized hand and install it and just work that hand down a little at a time until you get that timing just right. Now, if you go too far with it, you're going to be right back to where you're at with the timing issue. But it is something that can be done at home if you know what you're doing. Better to let a gunsmith do it. But since this one hasn't been shot, any revolver will have timing issues if shot enough. That's why I don't do like heavy dry fire with my revolvers. You're wearing those parts. But this one shouldn't be having this issue yet. I bought it in 2012, I believe. And honestly, probably haven't put 800 or 900 rounds through it. Now, a revolver should hold up longer than that before it starts having timing issues. But I did want to show you guys what was going on with it today. Maybe something you hadn't thought about or didn't know was an issue with revolvers. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to contact Smith & Wesson after the first of the year, after the holidays. I don't want to ship this gun with all this holiday traffic, package traffic going on. I'm going to contact them and see if they'll take care of me, get it sent in and get it fixed sometime in January, I hope. So I'll give you an update when it gets back for sure. But that's all I got today. I'll talk with you guys again soon.